then I can jump in.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Another session for our WGU Internship Week. And today we're going to chat through all of the different ways that you can find an internship, just a bunch of different search strategies to help you as you move through this process. And so, as I mentioned, this will be recorded and sent to you tomorrow in an email, along with a lot of the resources we'll send today. I'll be sure to add those to the chat, but I will also include those in the email we send as well. Before I hand it over to Kristen to walk us through Handshake, because we don't actually have a slide deck today, really we're just going to walk you through the different websites. I think that's more helpful. Um, I just want to share, yes, it's really important to have a multi-prong approach when it comes to finding an internship opportunity. You know, you don't want to just use Handshake. But I will also say, is probably you've heard over and over and over again, is really important that you have a strong resume. You've got a good LinkedIn, you've got a good Handshake profile, you've got that cover letter ready, you're ready for the interview process, and just know that career and professional development, we have all of those resources available to you. You know, you can do the resume course if you want to write your resume at 3 a.m. You can do that. If you want to meet with someone one-on-one, we have that. If you want to attend a drop-in session, we offer those types of opportunities too. So there's just so many ways that we can support you, because if you've applied to 180 internships and you've not gotten any bites, I would probably say something's going on with those application materials. And so just kind of keep that in mind, because it's not only just where you look, but it's also what you're applying with. And so we're not going to spend a lot of time on that today, but I will throw some resources in the chat while I kick it over to Kristen to walk us through Handshake.
Absolutely. Thank you, Addison. Like she said, my name's Kristen. I work here in CPD as a senior employer engagement manager. Part of that entails that I manage the Handshake platform. So if you have questions about Handshake, I will do my best to answer them. I'm on one screen today, though, so this will be a bit of an adventure.
Kristen, I will, if you have any questions that come up too, I will just pop them over to you.
Amazing. Thank you. Um, Advanced? No. Here we go. Okay. I'm just trying to find the right window to share, but you should be able to see my screen. I'm on the Handshake homepage. It says explore. Does that look right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, Handshake, quick and dirty overview of what Handshake is. For you as a student or as an alum of WGU, you have free access to Handshake. It is our kind of one-stop shop for your career management. So jobs are on here. All of our events like this are in Handshake. We've got a lot of different resources in Handshake. Our career advisor events are in Handshake. There's so much stuff in here. You can actually even connect with other students and with students at other universities through Handshake too. We're not going to touch on all of that today, though. Today, I really am just going to be talking about searching for jobs in Handshake. And how does Handshake decide what jobs to surface for you? So, my first tip, if you have not done this yet, is to here in your Handshake account, up in the top right-hand corner will either be your profile picture if you've added one, or your initials if you haven't. Just click on that and then go to your profile. And in this looking for section, click on the pencil and make sure that this is accurate for you. So are you looking for full-time, part-time internship, on campus? Even though we're virtual, we do have some WGU internships and jobs. What types of roles are you looking for? Are you looking in specific industries? Are you looking at a specific location? Um, Handshake's recommendations are not the best, and we get that feedback a lot, but they are working on it. So the better information you have in your profile, over time, those recommendations will get better for you. So really do try to make sure that your profile information and what you say you're looking for aligns with what it is that you are actually looking for. Handshake also uses that to decide which jobs to filter towards the top of the list. when we're looking at the jobs page, as well as what jobs to show you here on the home page. So like here, because I said that I was interested in quality assurance analysts and testing positions, it's showing me these jobs and it says, hey, do you want to create a job alert? So I can save this job search and it will send me new jobs via email that match that search criteria. If you have a better idea of what it is that you're looking for, you're not looking for something quite so general, you are looking for something specific, the jobs tab is where you're going to find that. So if, let's say, for instance, I am looking for an internship, but I know that because of my, responsibilities at home, it's actually going to have to be a remote internship. I can filter by remote positions. I think now that might also be under location. Nope, not anymore. Handshake changes all the time. So it's under filters is where you can say that you're looking for remote positions or hybrid positions. Um, if you want to make sure that you're only getting jobs that you're a good fit for, you can say you want to meet all of the qualifications there. I can also search within here. So I can say software if I know I'm looking for like a software developer or software engineering job. And then we've gone from like 80,000 jobs on Handshake to 400 jobs. That is still a lot of positions, but it is going to, again, filter for those most relevant jobs for you up at the top. Now, like I said on the home page, if you hit save on the home page, it'll create that job alert. You can here do the same exact thing. So if you've got that specific filter that you want set up, searching the way that you want, but you don't want to have to log into Handshake every day, you can toggle this button here on and it will send you an email. The default is 1 email per week with jobs that meet this search criteria. And I believe the max number of jobs that you will receive in that email is 10 or 15. I can't remember. They changed it about a year ago. But so that email will have a listing of jobs in there for you. And then you can, of course, click the button, go to learn more about, let's say, this software engineer intern job with Architects. You can go in here to find more about this job, or you can click to, and it'll take you just to this search page as well. The job search alerts are only going to show you the, excuse me, the job search alerts are only going to send you the most recent jobs posted though. So it's not like you'll get the same jobs every single week. When I'm in here, I can scroll down and I can find a lot of information about the position. It'll also show me some similar roles that it thinks that I might be interested in. And like I mentioned, it does a good job of kind of pinpointing or directing you to other either WGU alums or other people at other universities who have made their profiles public, who you can contact and ask questions of. Some of these, and I'm trying to think, I don't know if any of these will have it. Let me go a little more general here. Some of these postings, yeah, so like this one, it says you can message the hiring manager. You can sometimes you can schedule a time with the hiring manager, or which is just whoever posted it onto Handshake for the company. But yeah, you can click on the button and it'll then allow you to message that person with that organization. Um, any questions in the chat?
Nothing so far. I
Okay.
will say, on the handshake front, I do send out a survey to students. Maybe you'll get it. Maybe you've gotten it. Chris and I sent out a survey to students who have applied for internships on Handshake, so that we can hear from students who have completed an internship. And I will say that students who have landed an internship, it has been because either usually Handshake or LinkedIn. And so Handshake is a great resource.
And our team is always looking at like jobs that aren't on Handshake too. So like I said, I'm an employer engagement manager. We have other employer engagement managers who are connecting with employers every single week. And when they hear about a job that isn't posted on Handshake, they will actually go in here and post it so that the job itself is live in Handshake. So that's something else that you can kind of be on the lookout for, are those jobs that it'll say WGU hot jobs on them. So that's something else that you can look for and know that those jobs are jobs that have been kind of sourced, if you will, by our employer engagement managers. And we have those people from like in every region of the US. I see the question popped up. Is it normal to get notifications in areas of the country that I do not live in? It is very normal. My suggestion is ignore it. If you do have specific feedback, like let's say, if you can send me a screenshot of your profile indicating, you know, your location preferences and things like that, um, and you're receiving a message specifically about a job that is not relevant to you. I'm actually working with our relationship manager right now on fixing some of that relevant stuff based off of feedback from our students. So if you do have those specific things that you want to share, not just like, oh, Handshake doesn't give me recommendations I want, but you have something specific, then you can always send that to us at careers@wgu.edu.
Right.
I saw a bunch of questions came in and
Yeah.
then they just popped off my screen. So I don't know. If you could read them, Addison, that'd
Yeah,
be great.
absolutely. Is there such a thing as bothering the recruiter or hiring person too much? On the flip side, someone contacted me asking for personal information, and honestly, it did not seem honest, and so I'm wondering about fraud as well. Is that
Mm.
I? It sounds like it says on there, so I'm assuming this is on Handshake. So
So if it's a company on Handshake that you think is not legit, definitely go to their company page. So you can actually, if you go to employers here, I'm just going to pick like Google because it's probably not Google. But if it is Google, you can go to their page. And on here, you should be able to flag the employer. Yeah, flag this employer for abuse. So you can go in, you can click that button. You can also, again, send us an email at careers@wgu.edu if there's ever an employer or a job that seems off to you. Handshake does have a trust and safety team, and we also vet a lot of the jobs that come through if they don't meet our kind of pre-approval criteria. So I'm looking at hundreds of jobs every single day, as well as Handshake's trust and safety team has, I think, like almost 50 people who their entire job is to just vet employers as they're creating accounts and review job postings. So there's a lot of people in there trying to make sure that it's safe, but things slip through the cracks just like they do everywhere else. So if you do find something like that, you can always flag the employer, flag the job, and make sure that it is like we can help make sure that it's a legitimate posting.
I think on the flip side of that, the other question is like, can you bother the recruiter too much? And I would say you absolutely can. I think a good general plan, I think, in terms of reaching out to the recruiter is reaching out after you've applied, shortly thereafter, just so it's fresh. It's very possible you won't hear back. There are recruiters that literally have jobs that they're like 50 to 100 jobs, individual jobs
Hundreds
that they're trying
sometimes.
to fill, then they're managing thousands of applicants. And so it's very possible that you won't hear back. That doesn't mean they didn't see your message. That doesn't mean they're not reviewing your application or that you're not going to get the role. But don't take it personally if you don't hear back. But I
Yeah.
would just say one outreach is probably enough. And then if you got an interview and you don't hear anything back, and you could follow up and just say, can you provide me with next steps?
Yes, absolutely. Unless it's somebody who, like, if you know somebody, like, they're like you already have that personal relationship versus just like, oh, I found their name and their email. Don't bother them too much. But like, if let's say if Addison didn't work here anymore, but was like, oh, I'm applying for this job on Kristen's team, she could message me and be like, hey, so what's going on with that job? And I would let her know, right? Like, Addison couldn't bother me too much. So that would be the other side of it is like if you have somebody who you know who works there, then it's a different story, I would say.
Which goes back to just that power of that professional network that we just keep mentioning, right?
I know. It's like every presentation shouldn't be a networking presentation, but it kind of is. I
But
did
it
see
is.
somebody asked about like finding those people. They aren't on every single job posting, but some of those job postings will have, please hold. Got like a Outlook notification. And again, okay, here we go. But some of them will have like a person's name in here. So somebody else asked about this section, the what you're looking for. So this is looking for people who are like, who graduated by August 2025. So my profile says I'm graduating in like 2027. So I don't meet that criteria. Now, you can change your own expected graduation date in here. It will go back to whatever is it you have in your degree plan when the account updates, but you can change that yourself in the education section here. You just click on the little pencil and you can edit your start and end dates, your major. You can edit all of that yourself. The only thing you can't edit yourself is that school year. So like my profile doesn't even show it, but it might say that your school year is different. If you're talking to a career advisor or just email careers@wgu.edu, then we will be able to help you with that. Our career advisors are all able to change your school year if you're meeting with them. Was I a bookkeeper? No, that's from one of our sample resumes.
That's awesome. Perfect. I think there might be a couple other questions in the chat, but I might keep us moving along only just so that
Yes,
we can,
Addison,
because we got a
please take
couple
over because
things
I know
to.
you've got some good resources to share too.
Yeah, and if you don't mind checking the chat, just because I think there's a couple of specific questions you might be able to answer. And so, first I'm going to share. This is let's see here. Do you see that where it says "Ask a Grad"? Great. All right. Let me just kind of adjust my screen, get everything going on WebEx Business. Oh, so on Ask a Grad here, it's actually something it's a great program through WGU. And Kristen, please stop me because I am not an expert on this program. Would love your insight. But this is kind of a unique way to potentially find internship opportunities. And so basically it is a platform that connects current students with alumni. And it's really great because sometimes, you reach out to alumni and they don't answer. Maybe you reach out to them on LinkedIn and they never respond. The great thing about this is you can, just click Ask a Grad. It's going to take you to the website, click Ask a Question, and then you pop in your information. And let's say I say like, I am an accounting student. I want to find an internship. Do you have any recommendations of companies where I can search for opportunities, right? So I'll obviously fill in all of the other information as well. And then what happens is that the AI on the back end is going to go through and find all of the alumni that have accounting experience and potentially any other relevant information that I might include in that question. And then they'll send that question to that student, excuse me, to that alumni, and they'll answer it. And the great thing is that there's a really, really high response rate. I also would say it's a great way to network. Again, a networking thing, right? But especially if you're looking, for a specific company or just learn, what are some of the challenges in the industry? You can ask anything. But could be kind of an interesting way of where you could even ask, how did you get an internship in cybersecurity? Can you ask anything you want, and it will help you find the person that's going to help you answer that question. Uh, Kristen, do you have anything you'd add on that one?
I would say try your best with that to not like, don't ask for an internship, right? Ask for specific advice, and that's where you'll get the best response. Is if you're asking for advice, how do you recommend gaining experience? What types of experience should I be looking for? Are there professional associations I should be joining? Because the AI, it can't tell me if if one of our grads had an internship, right? It can't tell me if they work in I'm going to say like software development, but for a bank, right? Like it can't tell me those things. It can look at all of our grads who who graduated from software development, and it can send it to all of them. And you might get lucky with someone who works at a bank, but there's not 100% guarantee. So just try and be looking for like answers for those kind of career related questions, and that's how you'll get the best response versus like, I want this job. That's not building the relationship, right? That's not the
Exactly.
relationship building part of networking. That is very transactional. So
And
that
people
would be
generally
my
don't.
recommendation.
Yeah, they don't generally do well when you just ask them for something without even knowing you, right? In terms of the question of, how detailed is too detailed, they actually have examples here. And so honestly, I would say just put in a couple question or put in a couple sentences, and then you can always ask follow-up questions when you actually get connected with an alumni. So one of the really cool things about WGU, we have over 400,000 alumni across the United States. I think we will probably have the biggest alumni base of any institution in the United States here in just a few years. And so this is such a cool tool. So be sure to use it. Um, so that's kind of a different way of looking at potentially identifying ways to expand your network, but also find opportunities that may not be there. And so um, the other thing we're going to look at here is just it's called the experiences section on our CPD website. And so from just the general website, if you just go to the Jobs and Internships tab and then click on Internships and Experiential Learning, and then if you scroll down here a bit, you'll find Experiences. And if you click on that, it's going to open up, it's kind of like a search engine for search engines, because I recognize that there's a lot of different websites out there. There are a lot of websites out there that are a bit fraudulent, and you might find some very bizarre opportunities. And so the nice thing about this, I have tested all of them, done a lot of research on them. So these are great websites to go to. And so you can actually click onto, you can check out the different filters. And if we want to just look at internship opportunities, you can go there. And so we obviously have Handshake. So this is an easy way to access that. Um, Another kind of creative way of going about this, there is this website, it's called Go Rick. And it is this gentleman who helps just for like early career. But I would also say just anyone looking for getting experience as well as just getting an internship. But what you can do from the website that he has is, you can filter by industry. Okay, so um, let's go into human resources because that's a tough one. Um, I don't think this is a great example though, because there's not very many. So we're going to let's go into advertising and marketing. Um, and so from here, let's see, it doesn't seem to be loading it. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Okay, so like for instance, for accounting, you can see all of these different companies that are going to offer internships or early career opportunities. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to click on Elliott Davis. The awesome thing is this is going to take me right to this website to see what the internship or early career opportunities are. And so the awesome thing about this is that you can start to get a list of all of the potential companies within an industry that can help you find an internship. It doesn't necessarily tell you exactly, the timing, what it might be, but it's a great thing to, bookmark these websites, especially if you find an internship opportunity. You're like, oh, like that's something I want to keep an eye on, and you keep checking back, see when their applications come open, things like that. That's a great way to go about it. But this is just going to kind of give you a really comprehensive view of just different companies that you might want to explore, or something that maybe it's not on Handshake, maybe it's not on LinkedIn. So this is just another way to supplement your search. And so please just ignore that it says early career, because I don't think that's always true. Internships, as I always say, they can be, I don't care if you're 18 or 52, that experience is still very relevant. So there is one website for you. And then let's go back to the experiences page. If you're interested in learning about micro internships with Parker Dewey, definitely check out the session tomorrow, because Lola will chat a little bit more about those opportunities. But you can go through and you can sign up for an account, and you can see the different opportunities that are available. I would also check LinkedIn. I think a lot of you are probably very familiar with LinkedIn. I'm not going to walk through that one, but there is an internship filter. One of the things I would say about LinkedIn is that it's the algorithm, just like Handshake, how it sends you those notifications of opportunities that are available to you. LinkedIn is going to do the same thing. I will tell you that actually, like last 2 of my jobs, I have found because of that algorithm sending me emails, including the one I'm in right now. But just like Handshake, sometimes it's a little wonky, so it's not always perfect, but that's a great way to get updates as well. I would also definitely be sure to check out Way Up is another really great comprehensive website as well. Again, just a really simple search engine. You can go by, popular categories. You can see all categories. You can have an internship in babysitting. Again, just make sure that you're looking to see that the opportunity looks legit. but you can explore all different types of internships by category through the Way Up website. And so forgive me, I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit. So let me make sure, I know we're going pretty fast here. If you're looking for federal service internships, like if you're thinking about like potentially a position within the federal government, there are so many opportunities through the virtual student federal service internships. They also have internships that are on site as well, both for students that are current as well as recent graduates, and they have them at the undergraduate as well as the graduate level. So definitely check that out if you have any interest in going into public policy, government relations, anything like that. Um, and I think, my goodness, we've only got 5 minutes left. Um, I know, Brittany, we're going fast, aren't we? um, but that's a really, really quick overview of some of the different search engines that you can use. Like I said, it's really important because some employers might post on Handshake, others might only post on LinkedIn, some may only do Way Up, or some may only post on actually like their company website. And so that's why it's really important to identify, multiple ways to find those opportunities. Anything you want to add, Kristen?
I think you hit the nail on the head. A couple things that were mentioned in the drop-in yesterday in the chat, just that I'll like throw out there. A lot of people mentioned Reddit as being a good resource. Now, of course, it's Reddit. You have to take anything you see there with a grain of salt. But I definitely think it's true too. Like if you're in a niche field, like let's say UX, design, we'll just say, and you're like, I want to figure out how I can gain experience in this field, do a Google search, add Reddit onto the end, and look through those results because you will probably find some really good, helpful people in the comment sections. Now, you'll also find some people who are like, oh, just go get a job. But like, still, because it's Reddit, there is some valuable information there. So that's one thing I did just want to throw out there, is if you are looking in a more niche field, that's a good place to find people who are also working in that niche. Another question that we got was, which do you think is more advantageous if there is one, LinkedIn or Handshake? And I wanted to answer this question out loud because I do think that there is one that is more advantageous. And honestly, even as our Handshake person, that is LinkedIn. What I would do if I were you is I would set up those saved searches on Handshake. Read your emails that you get from us in Handshake. The automated emails, you can look at the ones that are for the job search alerts that you set up yourself, so that you're getting the good information that you need out of Handshake. You're still hearing about events. You're still hearing about if there's an employer in your area who's looking for a WGU student. You're still getting all of that out of it. But if you set up those job search alerts, you can kind of set it and forget it because we send out other events. We've got all of our events listed on our website. There's so many different places that you can find out what's going on with CPD. Handshake is just one of them. So if you're wanting to just like set it up and forget it and then spend your time on LinkedIn, I think that is a totally valid choice personally. Addison, I don't know about you, but that's my perspective. We also had a really cool session with a WGU grad who has really built like a awesome brand for himself on LinkedIn. His name's Nathaniel. I'll see if I can find a link to his recording. But he did an excellent job talking about branding yourself on LinkedIn and how to make LinkedIn work for you. Being strategic in commenting on people's posts, and do you have to post yourself and things like that. So it was a really great session. And again, he's a WGU grad. So that was one that I would recommend taking the time to watch, for sure, because there's lots of great nuggets of information in there if you do want to spend your time on LinkedIn.
I have actually taken some of his tips too, and it's helped me just have a better LinkedIn presence. So I tried to find that, but I'll include that in the follow-up email that we have. Um, but I also think, make sure that you're spreading into your network. I don't care. I think I've talked about this in other sessions. If it's the barista at your Starbucks that you typically go to, oh, I happen to be looking for an internship in HR. You never know who might know of an opportunity, and typically it's going to be those people that you didn't expect to share an opportunity that they're aware of. And so sharing on your LinkedIn and just sharing with others the opportunities that you're looking for, you never know where that might lead. Yes, so Tracy, in terms of the recordings that you may miss,
I
let
put a
me.
link in the chat to our YouTube channel. Most of them are also on the website too, but if you're on YouTube a lot, I know that can be the easier place sometimes. So I just put the YouTube link there. If you go on our website, there's also like a videos section. So on any page that you see videos, you just click on that and it'll show you all the videos we have on our website.
Wonderful. I know that we went through this incredibly fast. I think lesson learned. We will make this a longer session for future iterations. But what truly, I hope this is helpful. I hope to give you some, just kind of some interesting ways to maybe think about your search and other, expanding your network using Ask a Grad, thinking about researching those companies through Go Rick, using our search engines, obviously using Handshake, setting up notifications, telling your network, all of those things. And so, like I said, we will send out this recording, add lots and lots of resources available to you. But please let us know if you have any other questions. And thank you so much for joining, and hope to see you at some of the other sessions we have for Internship Week as well.
Betty asked just before we shut off the recording, and I know people have to jump, so feel free, but since Betty threw it in, I'll just go ahead and answer. What about attending training webinars or cohorts? I think there's a lot of different things that you can do, and virtually, of course, yeah, especially if you get CPE, they can definitely be useful. Personally, I'm going to say selfishly because I'm a past president of a state association. But personally, I recommend looking for like a local professional association because then you can really grow your network. So if you can get connected locally, I know Addison's done that as well, like in her area. Like if you can get connected locally, that plays a big role in helping you find if it's find jobs or help connect other people to jobs even like it really does make a big difference. That would be my recommendation. Of course, if virtual is what works best for you, it's what works best, but I'm a big proponent of those like local associations and local professional groups.
Definitely.
I think I wouldn't, if you don't need it, like if you're not like SHRM certified and you don't need those credits, I wouldn't worry about like keeping track of them. um Addison, I don't know if you have a different perspective.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like maybe you want to put it on, if it's relevant to the job you might be applying to, or the industry you work in, adding it to, the courses or credentials you have just in your LinkedIn section, but it doesn't necessarily, you have limited real estate, if you will, on your resume. And so adding it there may be helpful. Sometimes it's not. I think it just depends on the job you're applying for. Yeah, these are
Throw it
great
on your
questions.
LinkedIn. There's no word limit on your
Yes,
LinkedIn
exactly.
profile.
Yep. That's what I always tell. Perfect. That's great questions. Wonderful. All right. Well, let us know if we can help in any other way, and we look forward to seeing you in other sessions. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. We really, really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.